Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Ina, I'm a Twitch streamer and I also do reaction videos here on YouTube. Today I picked a video that seems very interesting. It's called Why Finland and Denmark Are Happier Than US. Now I am from Italy, so I'm not closely related to any of these countries, but this is not the first time that I hear that some countries in North Europe tend to have like a good quality of life that equals in more happiness. So I'm very curious about the topic, so I decided to check it out with you. This video is made by CNBS, so with no further ado, let's just jump straight into the video and see what it is about.
What makes me happy is...
I think I was definitely born happy, and then life happens.
I'm getting a bit emotional here.
I feel very happy.
Very happy.
I'm happier now than when I lived in New York, and I got paid probably twice as much in New York as I do here.
Our happiness is kind of like quiet happiness, kind of a stillness.
What does it take to be happy? The Nordic countries seem to have it all figured out. Finland and Denmark have consistently topped the United Nations' most prestigious index, the World Happiness Report, in all 6 areas of life satisfaction. How have they cracked the formula? And are the people there really the happiest?
Let's see. Very curious.
The United Nations just named the happiest place on Earth. It is not Disney World. It's Finland.
In 2019, the World Happiness Report named Finland the happiest country in the world for the 2nd year in a row. Denmark came in 2nd place after claiming the top slot in 2013 and 2016. Year after year, Nordic countries like Norway, Iceland, and Sweden round out the top of the list. Enter Jeffrey Sachs, a professor at Columbia and the co-editor of the World Happiness Report.
What do those countries have? They have a high level of prosperity, to be sure, but they're not the richest countries in the world by any means. The idea is a good balance of life. You don't have to get super rich to be happy, they believe. In fact, if someone's super rich, they look, what's wrong with that person? So they're not societies that are aiming for all of the effort and time to becoming gazillionaires. They're looking for a good balance of life, and the results are extremely positive.
I can definitely see a reason behind this. Like, I can only imagine somebody has been working a lot their whole life in order to make more money. Like, they spend most of their day thinking about business, how to be more successful from that point of view. But then what happens is that literally their whole life is dedicated only to that, only to work. And they probably just don't fix or like don't think about everything else or in this world that it can make you really happy. They maybe don't appreciate the little things as much as other people do. So I definitely agree with this point of view, and I can see why that could potentially be an issue. So this is already very interesting. Let's continue.
The annual happiness ranking began in 2012, but we can trace measuring happiness back to 1971.
It came in the inspiration of the country of Bhutan, a country in the Himalayas that many people know for its innovation of attempting to measure gross national happiness.
Globally, a standard for measuring success and productivity is gross national product.
Bhutan had the bright idea of trying to measure happiness.
Measuring happiness is a fairly complicated business.
Yeah, like how does it even work? What do they measure exactly?
First of all, we need to understand what happiness means.
It means the satisfaction with the way one's life is going. It's not primarily a measure of whether one laughed or smiled yesterday, but how one feels about the course of one's life.
Meet Mike Viking, happiness researcher and CEO of the Happiness Research Institute in Denmark.
There's a lot of factors that impact happiness, everything from biology to income levels to the city they live in. But I think the best predictor we see in the data of whether people are happy or not is whether they're satisfied or happy with their relationships. So do we have somebody we can rely on in times of need? Do we have somebody we can share our hopes and worries with?
These 6 categories help account for the differences in life satisfaction around the world. GDP per capita, healthy life expectancy, freedom to make life choices, social support, generosity, and absence of corruption.
On average, richer countries are happier. On average, richer people are happier. But once we get to a certain level of income, additional $100 a month is not going to impact how people feel about their lives. So with money, like with everything else, we see diminishing marginal return.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I can completely see this because $100 extra bucks a month can make a huge difference for somebody that's really struggling to pay their bills and living paycheck to paycheck. But after a while, when you arrive to like a pretty wealthy state, that $100 extra is not gonna change your life. It's not gonna make you happier. It will change the life of somebody that's struggling because it's like a relief to have something more. So good point there, good point.
And I don't know why I'm bringing up this quote because it's extremely corny, but there is a Kanye West song in which he says that having money is not everything, not having it is. And I do think that's true in the sense that when you don't have it, it's all you worry about. And when you do have money, you can actually worry about other stuff.
Exactly what I was trying to say. Kanye West has a quote on that, I had no idea. But yeah, exactly what I was trying to say.
Happiness also seems like this elusive thing. We have 2 words for happiness in Danish. So we have lykke, which is the elusive thing, the thing you experience once every blue moon. And then we have to be glad, like the word glad, which is different because it's more down to earth and you can be glad despite the fact that it's not anything special. It's no special day. Lykke seems like this elusive thing that you can't quite chase. To be glad is more like our mindset. So I feel more like I choose to be glad at times rather than sort of trying to chase happiness, because that seems like it's never gonna happen that way.
I didn't know this. They have 2 different words. That's so accurate, the way that they're describing it. Like you can be glad in your everyday life and you're fine because like you're surrounded by good things, you have a good balance. And then there are the things that are like rare, special occasion that makes you happy, and that thing brings happiness. Like maybe I would describe it as like quiet happiness and joy. I'm not sure if that's what they were referring to. I would like to know a bit more about the meaning of these 2 words that they have in the language. It's so fascinating. It really is.
Maria lives in Helsinki with her husband Duke and her 2-year-old son Luca.
Hi, yeah, there it is. There it is, little monster.
Finland is the best place to have kids. When you go give birth, it's almost free. We stayed in the hospital 3 full days. As a family, we had our own family room and we got like meals and support and help and everything. And the bill was about 300 euros in the end. It's basically like living in a hotel.
I'm not sure how expensive it is to like give birth in Italy. Honestly, I would have to look it up, but I'm thinking about the same price, if not less. But of course, we all know that in the United States, health with insurances and everything is a whole different topic. So yeah.
It was about 300 euros in the end. It's basically like living in a hotel.
In Finland, new mothers receive a free baby box jam-packed with 63 items to help with the baby's first year.
You don't have to buy anything for the first 2-3 months. Of course, diapers and stuff like that, but basically. And also you can...
I had no idea about this. It's actually genius.
Actually put your baby to sleep in that box. Our baby actually, Luca, slept in the box for the first month.
Finland, along with the other Nordic countries, offers generous parental leave. Anu Partanen, author of The Nordic Theory of Everything, spent 10 years as a journalist in the US before returning to her home country, Finland. She's also a mother.
In Finland, you get 10 months of paid parental leave, out of which about 4 months is set aside for the mother, and you start it before the baby is born, and then father can keep 9 weeks.
Typically, both parents stay home for the first 3 weeks. They share the rest of the time until the baby is 9 months old. A parent can even stay home until the child is 3 years old and keep his or her job. However, the stipend is much smaller.
Another determinant of well-being is one's sense of personal freedom to make important life choices. Can you shape your life the way you want?
Christina was unhappy at her job in advertising and took an 8-month break.
Social security is also something I think is very important. What I did didn't make me happy, and it didn't let me have that work-life balance that we cherish so much here. And so we have a system that made it possible for me to quit my job and have some thinking time and figure out, what's my next step in life.
Christina received about $2,000 a month from the Danish government while she was unemployed. She is now in school to become a painter.
That's impressive. I don't know exactly what's the average salary in Finland, but that is more than a regular salary in Italy, like when you actually work. And this is a social security check that she got while unemployed. Not bad, but I'm assuming that the average salary there is much, much higher.
Her tuition is covered, and she receives an educational stipend of about $1,000 a month. Two of the biggest perks of life in Denmark and Finland are free education and free healthcare.
Income taxes are not at all as high in the Nordic countries that Americans tend to think. However, overall, it is completely true that the Nordic countries collect more taxes in general than the United States does.
In Finland and the Nordic countries, there are higher taxes on consumption, like eating in restaurants and buying jeans.
But the thing that I think a lot of Americans forget is that the Nordic people are happy to pay those taxes because they get services in return. Daycare, great public education, it includes your college, tuition free, it includes healthcare. All of those are included in your taxes.
When the news hit that Finland is the happiest country in the world, I think most people kind of reacted to it like, what are they talking about? We don't think of ourselves as very happy because it's dark and gloomy in the winter and whatever.
It's easier for Finns and Danes to shape their lives because the government supports so many of their basic needs.
The American dream is probably more alive in Denmark. The perception of freedom is probably also a little bit different. It seems like in the US, the feeling is you have to be protected from the government and you have to have freedom from the government. I think in Denmark, the sense is that the government protects you.
People trust that.
Wow, that's, I think, a very big difference. Because you would think that the reason why government exists is to protect the citizens, and it's there to help you in the moments of need. You shouldn't see it as something that is working against you. So if you do, there might be some issue in the organization of the country. From like the most basic standpoint, like from the most basic point of view, like of course this is just one, there are so many things that get into that, but if you look at it from this simple sentence, it kind of makes you think government is there to protect you, it's not there to go against you. That was such an interesting video, I have to say, and I love the fact that at the end of it, it all comes down to this word of balance. You need to find the balance in your life as a society, as a government, as a country, as a whole, in order to be able to say that your country is happy. And I don't know, just like watching this video, it really made me understand the importance of a good balance. Don't focus on work too much, focus on things that make you happy or glad, as we Danish say. It was really eye-opening from certain points of view. And did you guys know this? Did you already see this video? Did you read about the topic? I find it extremely fascinating. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, make sure that you hit the like button and you subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.